To this day, Saturday of Easter weekend, the meaning of what Jesus did becomes really clear to us. On Friday, we saw that Jesus went toe to toe with death and was willing to go to the extreme to break the bondage over our lives. On this day, we find Jesus in a grave. The gospel authors are very clear. Jesus is dead and buried. It's not like Jesus faked death, but Jesus went into a grave. Generally, the Romans would not allow somebody who is executed to be buried. They wanted to shame them, so they left their bodies out for everybody to see for days. But in Jesus' case, they took his body and they placed it in a grave. This grave was normally a place where a body would stay for a year. And as the body decays, the people would come back in a year's time and wrap up the bones and place it somewhere in that cave. But we know that Jesus will not stay in this grave. But for now, he's in this grave on this day. This day, we embrace the fact that Jesus is dead and buried. Over church history, there are different things that are being said about what Jesus did on this day. We know that Jesus said to the one person executed with him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." We know that the early church fathers believed that Jesus descended into hell on this day. But we know that Jesus is embracing the reality of death. And he came not only face to face with death, but he died. This Jesus is dead in the grave. What does that mean for us? It means that Jesus can enter our death, that Jesus can come into our dark places, our deepest fear. Jesus doesn't have only sympathy for the fact that we are going to die, but Jesus enters our death. And as he enters our death, he fully understands what it means to be dead. And so today, as we go into this day, maybe it is a time for us to think about the things that have died in our lives. Perhaps the passions that we once had that were godly passions that we gave up on, but they have died. Maybe we have become cynical. Maybe we have lost our faith. And we can use this day to know that Jesus comes into the dead spaces of our lives, and he understands the depth of that darkness and that desolation, and he is willing to come with empathy into that space. Over church history, people have used this time as a time of vigil, a time of waiting. Let us use today as a time of waiting, acknowledging that there are things that are dead in our lives, but we know that Sunday is coming.